A Little to the Left is a logic-based puzzle game, where the aim is to identify the correct way to organise items through pattern recognition. This could be making sure a bunch of post-it notes with squiggles on line up, or organising pencils to be in the right order. However, something which A Little to the Left does that is special is that it allows you to solve puzzles in multiple ways. Now, this is important because it directly addresses a core pain point with a lot of puzzle games. Most puzzle games are logic based, but based on a specific way of thinking. If the player doesn't naturally fit into that specific way of thinking, then they are going to have a much harder time than another player, most likely leading to frustration and potentially dropping the game. A Little to the Left embraces that people think differently, and creates puzzles that cater to this. For example, there is a puzzle where you have to order books in a specific way. Now for me, my first instinct was to order them by height, making sure that the tallest is on the left and the shortest is on the right. However, another person might think that the tallest should be on the right and the shortest should be on the left. That's fine. The game accepts that answer as it is equally valid. However, one really interesting thing is that whenever you complete a puzzle, if there is more than one answer to be found, it will be shown by the amount of stars still left uncoloured on the screen. Now, a coloured star equals one possible answer solved, so if there are more answers to be found, there will be stars left uncoloured. Now, regarding the book puzzle again, another way that a person may think to solve this puzzle is to instead order them by thickness rather than height. Each book is of a different thickness, and it is also logical to think that it might be ordered from thickest to thinnest rather than tallest to shortest. Sure enough, if the player does this, then the answer is also correct for this puzzle. Now again, this is great in allowing players that think differently to also enjoy the game and have a similar experience to those who might coincidentally have a similar way of thinking as the designer who made the puzzle. However, what this also does is it adds a lot of depth and replayability to each puzzle, increasing the amount of longevity the developers get from their development time. Additionally, the game offers two other elements to increase accessibility for players who struggle with puzzle games, but want to play the game regardless. The first being the hint system. If you are struggling with a puzzle, you can go to the menu and click Hint. Here you will be greeted with a piece of paper with a bunch of scribbles on it. Using the rubber, you can rub away the scribbles to reveal a hint to help you with the answer. This is great for two reasons. Firstly, it offers the player a way to get unstuck without having to go to the internet to look something up, keeping them immersed in the game. Now secondly, it gives the player agency and control over just how much of the hint they want to see, because they can decide to rub more or less of the paper to reveal the hint behind it. Finally, there is one more feature to improve accessibility, and that is the Let It Be option. Simply, if you've had enough trying to work out a puzzle, even with the hint, then you can simply let it be and skip to the next one. There is no punishment or consequence for this. Now, I would certainly be more tentative with regards to taking inspiration from this feature, as one could argue it harms the experience more than it gains in terms of accessibility, but it is something to note regardless. Hopefully you found this helpful if you are in the business of making puzzle games or puzzles within games that you are developing. Thanks for watching, make sure to tune in next week for another entry into the Game Design Library, and keep on keeping on.